Hey guys, Dan here. This is a quick video tutorial on if you wanted to do a game night party from your home to where you can stream it for others to join you. It assumes a few different things. One, that you have two different devices for hosting. Uh, this is the simplest way I can come up with a tutorial for this. There is other ways if you only have one device. They're a lot harder. I'll probably make a tutorial on those. But this is just assuming that you have two different devices. One for hosting the actual game from, and the second one for your audio and video. So in this case, we're going to use the desktop that you're looking at for hosting a game called Jackbox Party Games, or Party Pack. And then we'll be using the phone for our webcam and audio. So to get started, uh, you would either have Jackbox Party Pack through Epic or through Steam. Currently, I'm pretty sure it was cheaper on Epic. I don't know if it still is or not. Um, it just depends on who has what at what times. Um, but I currently own Jackbox Party Pack on Steam, so I'm going to go ahead and launch that. Now, it will start in a full screen window. I already have it in a regular window. Um, I'll change that in a moment just to show you what you'll have to do to set this up. But you would launch the game. It would already be in full screen mode, so just like this is. But you would launch the game. You'd go to settings, and you'd hit full screen mode to turn it off. Just for setup purposes, you can go back to full screen later if you'd like. It's a lot easier for doing it in a window mode though. Okay, so let me mute my audio because I'm currently hearing the Jackbox game. Alright, so now you have the Jackbox game open. You will go to zoom.us and download the Zoom program if you don't already have it. You would set up an account. The account is free with the limitation of 40 minutes is the max a host used to be able to host before it would end the meeting. From what I'm being told, other people are able to host for longer periods of time. Whether or not that remains a permanent thing, I don't know. Um, Whenever we first did this, that was not a thing. So because we didn't want to get cut off after almost an hour after 40 minutes, um, they have it to where they have a subscription service to where it gives you up to like 24 hours of a straight through meeting. So see which one you need. Try it free. If free isn't long enough, by all means, the subscription, I think it's like 16 or 17 bucks a month. So after you have created an account, you will download the client. So here you go to Zoom, download Zoom client. It's the first one right here, Zoom client for meetings. And you would save the installer. Then you would double click the installer once it finishes. Cue lottery music. Or not lottery, Jeopardy music. That's it. All right, so it'll probably ask you, are you sure you want to run it? You would hit run, and it may give you an additional prompt. You'd hit yes, okay, whatever it may present you. It depends on what your computer is set up for. Um, so then you go through the installation, and you would sign into your account. So I'm going to move this off screen so I can sign in. All right, so there it signs you in. Now you would create a new meeting, and you would tell it to join with computer audio. Now you can actually mute this, and it doesn't actually matter what you have selected for your audio devices because we're not actually doing the audio on this computer, we're only doing the Jackbox sounds. So I'll show you more about that in a second. Now you can either, for your speakers, you can either select a different audio device than what you would actually hear output on. You can mute your speakers down here. See, I have it to one just so I don't have to hear it. Um, or you can just mute them entirely because you don't actually want to hear the audio output from this computer. Um, or if you have plug-in speakers, you can just turn them off. So what we're going to do is called a share screen. And in this case, you could do one of two things. You could either share whatever screen you have, so um, you could share the entire screen. This is screen one is what Jackbox will be on whenever I have it up, or I could tell it just to share the Jackbox Party Pack, and then tell it to share computer sound and optimize screen for video clips. Um, if I don't click sound, no one in the meeting will be able to hear the Jackbox Party Pack. And if I don't hit optimize screen, you'll just see like stutter. Let's think MSN 2006 if you ever used webcam. That's pretty much the video quality you'll have with the share screen. Um, so you'll tell it to optimize, and then you'll just hit share. Now, as you can see, it's back to our normal desktop. We would go to settings and we would do full screen mode on, and now everyone that's in the meeting once you start it will see that, but then they'll also see yourself once you join it with your separate device. So now we're going to go to manage participants, and we're going to go ahead and do an invite and copy URL. So that's what we're going to actually send to people. We're going to send that URL link for them to click on. You can send it over email, you can send it over Facebook, text message, what have you. So let me go back to, and I'm going to send it to, my wife says I can send this to myself. So I have to do a new message, and I'm just going to go ahead and type my name. Apparently I don't exist, so I'm not even going to bother with that, and I'm just going to send it to her. Alright, so she's got that link. Alright, so now we're back in the party pack. Now, other than starting the game, so like choosing this game, that game, whatever game you decide to play, other than choosing the game and adjusting the actual audio, you're done with this computer. You actually don't need to use it or stay in front of it, because you can do everything else from your phone or laptop or desktop. Um, with the exception of actually playing the game, um, which watch my how to join tutorial for that, and I may give a few more pointers on how best to do it with a multitude of devices. Um, but going back to the meeting, we're in the meeting right now, and the screen share is active. So I'm going to open Messenger on my phone, and I'm going to click on the link from my wife, well, to my wife rather, and wait for it to join. It'll ask me if I want to join with video, and then it puts you in a waiting room. Now, as you can see here, it shows that they have entered the waiting room. I can either hit admit, or I can see the waiting room and see who's all waiting to get in. Now, you can go through, you can hit admit every time a person joins, or you can do what I like to do, hit these three dots down here, and you see right here where it has a checkbox that says enable waiting room, you uncheck it. That way, now anytime someone joins from here on out, instead of them going to a waiting room, they automatically just join the meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and hit admit, and it lets him in. Well, lets me in. So I tell my phone to join the audio. Um, well, and as you can hear, Jackbox is streaming to my phone. But then it's hard to see here, but the other end sees where this screen is. So that's where you want to make sure that you have this full screen revealed, or you want to have, you don't want anything over top of the window. Um, so if you do use this computer, I recommend either A, having multiple screens, or having it to where you have it in windowed mode, just like I showed you a minute ago, and put it off to like the left side of the screen and use whatever else you need for the right side of the screen. But even when you do that, let me rotate my phone here. Whenever you do that, you have to be careful because it does make it smaller on the other device because it basically just kind of resamples it based on the screen size. So that's just something you'll have to play with. I recommend trying it before you do a live meeting. Um, but then, like, if I'm full screen, it works full screen on my device. Um, but then the person can hear the audio on the other end. The thing to warn you about, though, is it is very loud by default. So, with the audio, on top of having your audio on your computer turned all the way down, you want to, it's different on different versions of Windows, and I'm sure Mac has their own different settings, but you want to go to Sound Mixer for Windows and Windows 7, Windows 10 and Windows 7, and you scroll down, you see how I have Jackbox Party Pack at 5. So if I was in the meeting, I would be able to hear myself just fine. Um, so that's normal volume. By default, it's this, and everyone else is way quieter than that. So I turned it down to 5 for myself. Find what works best for you guys. But you would use that to adjust the volume for the games, and that should be all you guys need to get everything up and running. Like I said, once you get this initial setup done, you don't have to sit in front of this computer unless you want to set up your games. Um, so in this case, we do espionage, and everyone just joins in through the normal way of the other tutorial I made. So I hope that helps, and good luck.